I became a single mom and had to face reality of pushing, my dreams and ambitions to the side, but then, you know, getting a bit more settled in my life and being able to come back and go, well, how about I dust all those dreams and passions and quirky hobbies off and start going with it. And the irony, I think, for me was that I just thought it was so unreachable to even go into books again.
Hey everyone, this is Kim O'Neill from the Every Day's a New Day podcast and live show, and you're listening to the Going North podcast with the hilarious Dom Brightman. Be sure to subscribe to his show so you don't miss any episodes, and remember, every day is always a new day.
And today on the Highlight Reel, Builder for Authors, known as GMP, the Great, Glorious, and Glamorous, is the Going North podcast. And we got another super special, awesome human for you today that could probably fit all three of those G's and more. That's right, indeed. She even has G in her name, so you know it's going to be for a good and great time indeed, because it's another bonus episode for the fourfold formula, y'all. That's right, indeed. All the golf and connect four you can say grace over. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. But don't worry, this one's going to feature the Everglades and not the woods, because today's super special guest from the book is a native Floridian. That's right, indeed. Hence the Everglade reference, as well as a wonderful lady who was actually a single mom with a tight budget, with a desire to prevent illness, disease, and suffering for a young son as well as herself. That actually led to her researching health and homemade natural remedies. And a decade later, folks, a whole decade later, when she turned freaking 21, she actually immersed herself in a holistic, natural lifestyle where she is now open to a new healing journey to help as many people as she can along the way as possible indeed. So let's give it up for the CG herself, the curious and glamorous Crystal Gilbert. How you doing today, Crystal?
I'm doing great today. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh yeah, that's right indeed. Yes, glad. Oh, that's another G word for today. That's right. That's right indeed. Glad you're here. That's right indeed. I'm sure the folks listening are glad you're here too.
Yeah, thank you. It's been an adventure just to get to this point for sure.
Oh yeah, that's right indeed. An adventure indeed, and I'm sure it involved the pinpoint too.
Does not stop.
That's right, it doesn't stop for nothing. We believe in P. Diddy tactics. Can't stop, won't stop. That's right indeed.
Yep, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, but it's not about P. Diddy, it's about C. Gilbert. So my goodness, as with all introductions, they're not allowed to be 174 days long, and I probably only covered maybe, I don't know, 6 hours of those 174 days. So mind filling us in a bit on your backstory of how you got to where you are today, since it's your first time on the show.
Yeah. Well, definitely an adventure. That's the biggest thing. Nothing I could prepare for, or I never could have even envisioned me being at this stage in my life on this path and this journey. And it's been something else. But yeah, with what you were sharing there, a bit of my backstory, it really started with my oldest son. When I was a single mom, I was terrified. And I had not come from a good place. I was not good mentally, spiritually, emotionally, anything. Finances were awful. Then I was a single mom and going, what do I do now? And all the different things that came. I never even thought I would be a good mom, which if you read my story in the fourfold formula, you'll kind of get a bit of an understanding why. But I didn't have experience with kids either, but I just had that innate drive, I guess that mother instinct to do whatever I could to protect my son. Along the way, I realized I need to take care of myself And that just kind of opened Pandora's box, but a good Pandora's box. And yeah, it's been a nonstop journey ever since, and leading into the holistic healing, realizing that it wasn't just one thing that needed to heal or get fixed. And some things I obviously are out of my control to fix. So I just have to kind of go along for the journey. And like what your message is so much about is just kind of leveling up, right? And I'm not good enough to do that for myself. I just kind of have to see the opportunities and rise up to it. So that's what I've done in a nutshell. That's my backstory, is all these crazy adventures and challenges. And man, I can choose to give into them, which I did for a while, and it was horrible. Or I can just figure it out along the way and try to be true to myself, and at the time give my son a good role model, and now thankfully he's got more, and be the change you wish to see in the world. So that's kind of what I lived by for a long time, not knowing what the next hour would bring, let alone the next day, month, or year. And I'm still kind of in that thing too. Like just with recently, I thought I could control everything and plan out everything, with business and all that stuff. And man, every time I think I've got it going on and I think I've got it under control. Nope. So it just takes me back to that, what? Is whatever it is, it's gonna be. And I'm here for the ride, trying to do the best I can in the meantime, and laughing a lot along the way, trying to find the humor in every situation, laughing as much as possible. And if I can help as many people along the way as possible too, like that's the gravy. That's the icing on top. That's all this extra sweetness. So how that plays out, it's different every moment. So that's the nutshell.
Nutshell indeed. Cashew or almond?
Ooh, cashew. Chocolate covered though.
Oh, you're doubly my kind of people. All right, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's right indeed. The chocolate and the cashews at the same time. That's right indeed. The triple C, the chocolate covered cashews. But hey, definitely indeed. And hey, it does happen to the best of us. I mean, especially being a single mom at one point, because it's like, hey, you're basically everything to your child. You're disciplinarian, and basically I'll play on the store title, Mommy Dearest for real, where you have to care for them. It's like, oh crap, you kind of have to have multiple personalities at the same time because there's no other person there to
Yeah.
really vent to. It's just really you and whatever help you get.
I think that multiple personality thing, there's something legitimate about that. Wearing all the different hats, but also the personalities to go with it. Yes, I think that's absolutely accurate. Probably not in a completely psychotic, destructive way, but some days. Balance,
Uh,
right?
yeah, but hey, I heard you found someone to help join the ride with you.
Yeah, I found another crazy person to go along for the ride. He's still sticking with me. I think because we're on the same weird wavelength. We speak the same quirky language. We laugh at each other's weird jokes that no one else gets. So hey, but yeah, that's been awesome. But it's same thing though. Like you think you have something figured out, and then something else happens, and all right, we're just gonna go with it, right? So yeah, I found a weird, quirky person to join me in this crazy ride in life.
Oh yeah, that's right indeed. It went from a Bronco to a Superman roller coaster ride back to a random Bronco.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that some of the worst bucks and kicks and stuff was over with, but nope. Still more. Still got more coming too, I'm sure. But it's all
Well,
good.
that's right. It's a Gilbert good. You love to hear it. Well, speaking of more incoming, what helped you to finally get the confidence to join the business of immortality, the fourfold formula? That's right. The opportunity came your way, and it looks like you decided to press the go button. So, how was that for you?
Well, I've always been interested. Obviously, I'm a geek. I love books and reading and learning. But then I started writing them down when I was about 11, just the different ideas in my head. Went through some poetry. That was a healing and therapeutic thing for me. And then also this beautiful thing where I could write fiction, but put as much truth in there as I wanted to. And I'm covered. So there's an extra layer of intrigue about that. But then I became a single mom and had to face reality of pushing, my dreams and ambitions to the side. But then, getting a bit more settled in my life and being able to come back and go, well, how about I dust all those dreams and passions and quirky hobbies off and start going with it. And the irony, I think, for me was that I just thought it was so unreachable to even go into books again, to go into writing. It was such a huge thing because I have so much going on in my life. But as I started growing my business, I had someone else reach out to me with the Transformation Network and got plugged into that community, which led me to the Fourfold Formula and this wonderful community that I fit into so well, I think. Yeah, it's just one thing after another, that crazy ride that somehow went full circle for me and was such a blessing to be able to get back into writing and really bust open that passion for writing again and sharing my story to as many people as will listen or read it. And yeah, I couldn't say no to it. I felt like it was handed to me in my lap. So be pretty foolish to turn it down.
There you go. It went full puppy. It just got into your lap for no reason. That's right. Heck, even full cat when it's being in its nice mood.
Yeah, pretty much. I literally have to push it off my lap to reject it. So I couldn't do that.
That's right, indeed. Well, since the opportunity meowed, you had to choose a story to add. So, what was your decision making process for finally choosing which story to add to the magical book?
Oh, man, there were so many to choose from for sure. But the one I shared in particular, the biggest factor for me was like really it was like the Russian roulette thing. I could have picked any story to go with. I have so much. And I always want to be inspirational and hope that I'm helping someone in some way, meeting them kind of where they're at and hopefully giving them a little bit of hope. But this one in particular was one that I really wanted to avoid. I didn't like thinking about it. It was one of those like triggering things for me too. But that was why I realized I needed to do it. I had to do it because it was so huge for me. It was something that I felt I would kick myself if I didn't put it in the book, if I didn't go there. And it was really challenging too. I had to sit on it for a while and push through and get it in just under the deadline. And there was a part of it where I was like, I don't even want this associated with me. It's like taking this raw, ugly part of my life I just wanted to bury because the feelings were so raw and real. But that's why I had to share it. And I knew that there's someone out there that could resonate with that, like how I had that scene in that movie resonate with me. And that opened up the stuff for my healing process like decades later. I came back to it and went, oh, yeah, that's kind of where that started, where I started going, maybe this isn't normal. Maybe this isn't okay. So it still took a long time because I was like 7 in that scene in the book that I write about. And I wasn't, man, it was actually like 5.5 years that I finally went no contact with those family members. So it took a long, long time for me for that seed to develop in me. But if I wouldn't have had that, I don't even know if it would have really started for me or not. So realizing that that was actually one of the most crucial points in my life that I can look back on now and go, that was really that catalyst, that little seed that was planted that said, what is being presented as normal is not normal and it's not okay. And it's actually perfectly okay for you to feel that it's not okay, which is not what anyone else was saying at that time. So that in itself too is something that I think is the core of my coaching, the healing, health, wellness messages that I teach on, that I coach my clients through. Everything that I do, it kind of comes back to that moment of realizing something about this isn't okay. And that's the best place we can start at. It's okay to not be okay, but now we're going to let this healing journey start or continue to unfold. So there's a lot of layers and depth for me, looking back on it as to why I chose that. And the symbology too, like talks about an apple core and the core of my existence, the core of my struggles, the core of who I am now, how I came to be here, everything. So it's kind of all connected, but it was not a conscious thing. It was just something that I went with. And then it all started like coming out. I was like, oh, that's how that connects. That's why this is there. And turned into this really beautiful, raw experience for me. So another layer, another necessary component to my own healing too. So for what it's worth, that's the answer to that question.
The darn good answer indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Funny enough, you're talking about cores and apple core. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. Reminds me of another media partner slash person put their story in the book. Eileen Build with her wonderful core thinking blueprint indeed. Another fellow coach indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. We got a lot of great coaches out there. She's one of them, and we're chatting with one of them today. That's right indeed. The double C, the coach Crystal herself. That's right indeed. This is the coach that helps you get that shine. That's right indeed. That shine indeed. That's right. Won't even need any shoe polish. She's got you covered. That's right indeed.
That should be my next tagline. I like that.
That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So my goodness, so with the Russian roulette of stories, is there gonna be a solo crystal project in the works coming soon?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I had to get my feet wet, I think, with having someone else take all the responsibility first. So it definitely stoked that passion in me and realizing now I have to do this. I really like this is just part of who I am, I think. So now I've opened that again, the Pandora's box for the writing and getting my stories out there. And it's also like there's no excuses for me not to do it anymore. It's so ridiculously simple these days to do it. So I can't even look at my clients if I don't do this. I can't hold my face if I don't do what I know I need to do. So yeah, there's a ton of projects in the works, but I'm also trying, to go with the theme, just going along for the ride and not putting so many control factors on what I cannot control. So yes, when, I don't know. Soon. We'll say that. Definitely in the future.
That's right indeed. So folks listen know what that means. That's how we're gonna have her back for round two. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. She's gonna get that book done. It's gonna be shiny. She's gonna take a selfie with it. Heck, and if she puts her pretty face on the cover, then it's gonna be a crystalception. That's right indeed. It'll be double. It'll be double. That's right indeed. It'll be double without the trouble.
Man, I don't know. I think trouble's part of it.
Don't worry. Some call this podcast trouble when the record button goes on. It's okay. It's just because key lime pie references happen. That's all.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in my life too, so roll with it. It's all good.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about indeed. So my goodness, join the business of immortality the easy way, which is kind of a nice, easy cheat code way to get your name published somewhere in book form without having to do all the heavy lifting, because it is heavy lifting to do a solo project. To now where it's like, yeah, there's gonna be a solo. That's right indeed. She's gonna go full Hall of Notes soon, a full crystal solo project in the works. So my goodness, is there a question that you wish to be asked more often when you're on these podcasts on the guest side of the microphone?
Well, that's a good question. There's probably a lot, but I can't think of any right now. I don't know. What's something you wish you would be asked? That's the question for you.
Yep, that's right for you listening right now. Don't worry, there's a giant chocolate stain on the mirror. She's really pointing at herself this whole time. Like, stop.
Man. Yeah. I think the one you question you did was the best one though. For like what was the process for choosing that story. So I think you already hit it.
Don't worry, but we won't quit it. We will stay with it indeed, because my goodness, so in addition to that magical story, I'm sure there's been setbacks along the way since you mentioned trouble. So what would you consider your biggest setback that actually became your biggest setup for success outside of the story?
Ooh, good one. Oh man. There's been so many, and it honestly felt like every time I would start to make progress, there was something big that knocked me back. And I can still feel like that just with the hurricane the last few weeks. I was just getting going in a new direction in my business, just getting going with finances, you know. I would say the biggest setback though is not the external stuff, but the how I allowed it to affect the internal. So now the external stuff, I'm so used to it. I've developed enough of that inner grit and just like that roll with it mentality. So it doesn't set me back as much as it did in the past. But I would say back when I was a teenager and that period where I was a single mom was the biggest parts where I had the most setbacks because it was the internal stuff I did not have connected at that point. I didn't have the inner grit developed. I didn't have the ability to trust the process. And there was so much inner gunk that was weighing me down that I couldn't see some of the good stuff there either. So that's really the biggest setbacks for me, because I've realized that I can't control the external, and the external stuff's always going to happen at some point. But the biggest thing I can control is me. So I refuse to allow myself to set myself back anymore, to be responsible for that, I guess. And realizing just with the aftermath of the hurricane around here that there's real people suffering in so many different ways around me. So I just need to get over myself, get over my insecurity, get over my own doubt. And I refuse to let myself be that setback for me. So that's my answer to that one.
I gotcha. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Sounds like the main lesson is focus on what you can control. Control the controllables. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right. You can't S&M everything, y'all. That's right indeed. You can't have everything in bondage. You can't be doing it. That's right indeed. Some things will be like, ha ha. Mother Nature's like, yeah, you can't control me. I control the planet that gives you red wine. I am the red wine. And I'm going to drink all of it. That's right indeed. You'll think it's fall weather, but it's really summer weather.
Yep. Forget about preparation. Just go with it.
That's right. It'll be like the Facebook algorithm. It's like, you will see this flyer a year from today. I don't care if you post it today. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. It's like, oh yeah, post. Everybody will see it at once. It's like, no, they won't. I'll decide. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So definitely got to focus on what you can control. Indeed. So my goodness, no, what we can't control is following recipes. So my goodness, so if this wonderful book, The Fourfold Formula for All Things Wellness, if it was a food, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that would be a Chinese buffet. A Chinese buffet because you can pick all the goodness out of it and there's really nothing bad. Maybe a little scary, but you try it anyway and it's delightful.
What's special with it? That's right indeed. That's right indeed. First person to actually see a Chinese buffet. Yeah. Most folks be like, oh yeah, just a random buffet, you know. It's like, nah, it's that Chinese, y'all. It's like, I need my orange chicken, danggummit.
Absolutely. It's strangely addictive. There we go.
That's right. Give me my noodles, danggummit. I want my fried rice. That's right. That's right indeed. It's a Friday. My brain's fried. People are driving like idiots. Fried the rice. Come on.
We have a lot of those down here. Yeah, I understand that one.
That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So my goodness, coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive. Actually, before that one, so my goodness, so since you went through the single mom period and now you're on the other side of it, now that you found someone to join in the ride for you, any encouragement for the other single parents out there? I'm probably 20 minutes late with this question, but I'm asking it anyway.
It still counts. Still counts. Well, if I could go back, what I did when I was single was think that the magic solution was to not be single. And obviously that's not always the answer to that equation. That thankfully I realized at the end part of that, of my singleness, that I could keep repeating those cycles of bad relationships or neediness or looking to someone else to fix me. And I really needed to be responsible for my own happiness, to fix myself. So, pretty much as soon as I realized that, that's when my husband came into my life. And, it just shot off from there. I found my best friend and the crazy person to do all the weird stuff in life with me. But I don't expect him to be my happiness or my fixer. We're just partners. We link arms. So, but also there's so much joy that can be had in it. There's parts where I've thought, man, this was a little bit easier when I was a single parent. So don't wish away whatever stage of life you're in. I'll just say that a little bit quieter, but that's definitely come up. So the irony in life, you can always wish away whatever you have and miss the gold in it, the beauty. And I think everything's just for a season too. So What do we know about the future? Just enjoy it. You never know. Whatever season you're in. There's levels of hardness at every stage too. That's for sure. It doesn't always just magically get easier.
Oh yeah, that's right indeed. There's definitely levels to this. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Yep. You're right, folks. That's right. Enjoy the season you're in. That's right. No matter what seasonings you have in that season. That's right indeed. Enjoy your season. That's right indeed right now. Because it's like, oh yeah. Outside looking into Singapore, it's like, oh, that couple looks so great. And then on the other side, the couple's like, oh, God, freedom. No ball and chain. Like, oh, man. I could be fully freaking here, but oh crap, the dating pool's full of freaking piranhas. No, let me stay over here.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a lot of people I know that I'm watching too with my popcorn. So just eating my popcorn, watching their life play out. And yeah, I'm good. I'm enjoying every season regardless, and I'm not wishing anything beyond what I have. I've learned my lessons.
Oh yeah, that's right indeed. Probably one of my favorite sayings ever, even though it could be dark. It's like, oh yeah, be careful what you wish for because it might just come true.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's right indeed. That's right indeed. But hey, dreams are good when they manifest, when they're the good dreams. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right. Sometimes the nightmares happen at nighttime, full moon, people are gonna people and turn into werewolves. But hey, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. If you live to tell the tale, you'll be fine. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. Well, before another rabbit hole appears, coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive. And that is if they'll wake up tomorrow and you're 25 again, but you're still in 2022. What advice would you give to yourself?
That was 10 years ago. And that was a whole different place for me. So I would say laugh more, let go of the reins, and have more chocolate, go on more adventures. That's it.
That's right. You heard from the white chocolate herself. Have more chocolate, y'all. That's right indeed. Laugh more. That's right indeed. Laugh more. So much you have s'mores. That's right indeed. And then you'll
S'mores
get.
too. Throw that in there.
Yeah. That's right indeed. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it indeed. So my goodness, so for those who need to keep in contact with you and keep up with your journey, what's the best way for folks to do so?
Well, I've worked hard to create my online website. It's my hub. So www.crystalgilbert.org. Yeah, I'm an org. So yeah, you can connect with me on there, and there's a lot of resources for everyone. And I always love to hear from people. So shoot me an email too. I'd love to connect.
There you go, folks. That's right. You're getting all the C words today, y'all. That's right. Crystal connects with you. That's right. That's right indeed. You got Coach Crystal who connects with you. That's right indeed. Helps you get your next level of shine. That's right indeed. So become the champion that you're meant to be, y'all. That's right indeed. All on our wonderful website, that.org, y'all. A whole organization. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. Since she's a control freak who loves control, she knows how to keep things organized. That's right. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. She'll take you from scattered to organized indeed. From S to O. That's right indeed.
I'll be updating my tagline soon.
Oh, yeah. That's right indeed. This is the podcast where taglines are born and made. Sometimes conga lines. You'll love to see it. But before any more Energizer Bunnies come out and join the conga line, any parting words for the folks listening at home or around the world?
Well, it's truly an honor and it's been very enjoyable. Been very refreshing after the couple weeks we've had. So, yeah, for everyone listening, just laugh more and love as much as possible. And thank you for allowing me the grace to have your ear space for a bit.
How's it going, my friend? I'm so glad you made it to the end. That shows that you are an uncommon finisher, and I am so grateful for you sharing your ears, your attention, and your time to this wonderful podcast to do something that'll take yourself to the next level. And for everybody else involved in this wonderful program, share it with at least 3 people in your network so that way more folks can not only catch the fire that is on this podcast, but can also be inspired to be their best.